Today we're going to talk about a very exciting development that's coming up in a very popular area, which is Queenstown. And this development is called Penrith.
So a bit of the disclaimer. So at the record of this video, right, we don't have any price. Anything is based on our own opinion. If you really want to buy yourself or maybe take action in Penrith, right, do your own research. Or if you need deeper analysis, do contact us. So let's go. Okay, so a bit of a perspective. This is a 2-tower development. So technically, right, if you are buying the one facing the Dempsey Hill, right, totally you can, I think, get a very good view, good greenery view. Because there will be, you can see from the perspective.
Yeah, so of course, get this kind of very nice view, then it's probably the higher floors. If not, then it will be the other facing, which is the HDB side.
Correct. So the site plan, very basic, I would say, center with pool. But of course, I saw the brochure, right, the landscaping, I think it's pretty well done by the developer.
And the pool is actually, I think, more oriented. You see, it's not really a lap pool, but it's like a bit of curve here, curve there, like a beach like that.
And I think one thing about Penrith, right, although they have level 2, I mean, of course, most buyers, right, when you buy on lower floor, right, you will start with level 2, right? Then level 2 will straight away be
quite
low, right? But this one is elevated. So technically, when you're at level 2, right,
still got some ground clearance.
Correct. A bit of the location.
Yeah, so location, if you see, of course, we are in Queenstown area, which is a very popular area, and if we expand further towards the right side, you see it's towards town area already. Yeah, so we are very, very central, very good location. Yeah, so if you want to go in depth, if you see the surrounding, right, we're actually just beside Queenstown Primary School. Queenstown Primary School, and we are walking distance to Queenstown MRT, which is definitely very
I think a plus point.
Yeah, and HDB all around. So you want coffee shop, you want Sheng Siong, you want amenities, all confirm have.
Yes. One thing very interesting right now, right, we see usually the development unit mix, right, the 2-bedder and 1-bedder is always more than the 3-bedder, or the most is like 50-50, right?
Yeah.
But for Penrith, right, one thing we can see right now, right, is the 2-bedder actually consists of 33%. So what does this mean for investor today? Because 2-bedder is investor market up to maybe smaller family, right?
Yeah.
Or better still, if some the unit mix of the 2-bed, 2-bath is taken out by the own people who want to buy for own stay, right? Technically, those people, when it comes to TOP, when you want to rent out, right? Definitely the competition will be lesser. So when there's little competition, at least at the start, right, your price maybe will be higher in terms of rental yield. So this is something we see is a plus point for the unit mix. Because it's like almost 30% only 2-bedder, and the rest is the bigger unit. So Penrith is really designed for own stay. And I think they are what the developer is doing, right, is targeting the HDB upgrader over there.
Correct.
People who stay in Dawson, HDB, right, want to move to a condo, right?
Queenstown is very famous for $1 million HDB.
Correct. So connectivity, I think just now Dylan also mentioned a bit. Anything you have in Queenstown, walking distance to MRT, shop, Sheng Siong. Then Alexandra area will be the IKEA, all these things. I think people who know will know.
It's definitely a very, very convenient location. Then of course, in terms of the MRT, you see Queenstown is in between the Circle Line and the Northeast Line, well connected.
So technically, those people who work in the CBD area, you don't want to stay in the CBD. Then travel a bit out.
But not too far also, so not very good.
Save on the commuting time.
Yeah.
Okay, so the developer, it's quite well known now. Just recently they have launched a few developments, Guaco and Hong Leong. So these are two main developers for this Penrith.
They don't need much introduction.
Correct. So once again we have come to this point. Every time we will start with the concern heard from our client when we talk about Penrith.
Okay, one of the concerns that here on the ground also is that they look at the development, only 2 towers. So they feel that maybe the land size is a bit small. Which some of them feel that a bigger land size will be actually better.
What's the concern?
The concern is that most of the buyers, they feel that bigger land size is always better. Because if you see all the bigger land size, definitely it's like, you got a lot of amenities, a lot of everything.
And I think buyers right nowadays have so much information. They also see a lot of good transaction happening in the big land size condominium, like let's say Treasure in Tampines. 2002 unit. At first, people think, how to oversupply, how to sell. But I think they make quite a decent. Those people who bought
profit.
So
if we look at Penrith, right, we mentioned just now, the land size you see is about 100,000 square feet. So to me, this land size I would not say is small, But I will not say it's big also. I will say it's okay. It's just a decent land size, but it's not on the big side. Yeah. One thing, of course, a lot of people we are focusing on the land size, right? There's one more thing that we need to actually look at that I feel is important, which is what we call visibility. So if you look at Penrith, okay, the land size is about 100,000 square feet around there. I will not say it's a small development, but I won't say it's a big development. I just say it's a very nice development. Okay, but of course, a lot of people, if we are focusing on the land size, that sometimes we forget to look at one factor, which is visibility. So visibility means, for example, right, even though the land size is small, but due to the position of the building as well as the height, and then maybe the surrounding developments is not so prominent. So this attention might be a plus point. If let's say it's a good layout and all these things, then a lot of buyers will want to actually take a look at this development.
Like for example, today if I'm looking at a buyer, imagine I'm a buyer, right? I'm looking at this area, and of course when I zoom in the area, right, I see, maybe this two tower is prominent. Every time I walk by, then it's like, the design, the facade very nice. Then should I take a look? So I will basically put it into my research, and I go for viewing. This is what we mean by visibility.
Correct. So of course, what we want to look at today, right? Example, we take an example, a smaller land size, but a higher visibility. We look at Whistler Glen, right? Of course, Whistler Glen is bigger, 200,000 square feet, okay? But later comparable, it's a bit smaller. Okay, so we want to take a look at some examples. For example, we look at Resale, which has a smaller land size but a higher visibility in the area, because even though it's 200,000 square feet, okay, we're later going to compare it to a bigger development, okay. But because very high visibility in the West Coast area, when you drive past West Coast, right, you confirm see Resale. Yeah. So how do you perform? Actually, you see the average in terms of the profit. This one is the profit. Profitable transaction, so average make about 400 PSF. But if we look at Penrith, which is supposedly so-called a better location, why? Because it's RCR, that is in D5, okay, and the size is 100,000 square feet bigger. Bigger, but one thing for Penrith, I would say, because it's more of a low rise, it's not very, the visibility is not as high as Whistler Glen.
I think for location, people buy for the tranquil. So there's know that area well.
Must know that area, then there's a Penrith there, something like that. Yeah, but what does this mean? You see the average profit that they make about 200 PSF, which is okay, not too bad, but it's not as good as Whistler Glen.
So that means you are saying that not always buy the bigger land size will perform better.
Correct. So of course, we don't just use one example. I give you another example, which is the Link at Beauty World area. The land size is only about 40-ish
small.
Square feet, square feet, which is very small. But you look at the average profit they make, about 596, close to 600 PSF. So for this one, this visibility, of course, Beauty World, you confirm know the Link one, you can see, because it's just near the MRT, just beside the MRT. Yeah, but the land size is really small, but they still make quite decent profit. We compare this to in the Beauty World area also. There's another one called Foret, also freehold, but this one you see the land size 360,000 square feet, which is considered a very big development. Yeah, but you see the amount of profit they make only about 380 PSF. At the end of the day, of course, even though it's bigger, but in terms of visibility, right, the Link, right, the profit is higher. So these are just some examples for you to understand what we mean by visibility. Okay, but of course, that being said, doesn't mean that just go for very small land size. Okay, there are other factors in terms of land size that we should look at.
Yeah, because you see, right, the land size is actually very small, 40 plus, but it make a lot. Because I think one of the key factor, it has additional attributes.
Yes.
It's
integrated. Yeah, it's an integrated development, and below got retail, all that. Then directly connected to MRT.
So all these convenient, all these actually give them an attribute that people want to buy in the area. That's why it will push up the price.
Correct.
This is so like I think we have discussed before, right? Visibility is actually double-edged. If it's a high visibility,
but you don't have the attributes,
like the layout not so good, then maybe not convenient. Then main thing when people come, for example, I'm buying, I go view, right? I think I cannot.
Yeah.
Then my friend also want to stay in. I tell him, I think don't go for that one. That one the AIC not so good.
Yeah. So the word spread about it also fast.
So it's a double edge. So that means if you have a high visibility, then it's not so good. Technically, you will also kill yourself.
Correct.
So one example, like the land size, why land size can be so small, right? If you don't have the correct attributes, right? It's this example both as RCR, one is Sim Urban Oasis, one at 3 residences. So 3 actually have one very good attribute. It's actually very near to Aljunied MRT. But then sim urban, you need to walk quite a bit of distance towards MRT. So by right, 3 will maybe perform better in the way because it's convenient. But because of the attribute, right, is for 3, right, actually the is quite small. The land is about 60,000. And for the sim urban, it's about 200. Then what happened? When people go to see the 3 residences, of course we also see the layout of the 3 residences. The layout got some not so preferred type in the way in terms if you compare to today's market, the layout I think is preferred some of the area is tucked with the towards the living area, so it feels that it's combined because right now the layout for 2-bedder, right, is always the living and dining. They still try to segregate I think now it's more popular. That's why I think which happened, you see rise, right, for the Sims Urban Oasis, right, actually the profit is about 400 to 600 range, while 3 still make. It's not that they don't make, but of course the profit wise lesser So this is why we're trying to sell you this is that today just one attribute, must buy big land, sure can make profit. There are certain framework that we come to choose where to come into when to buying a new launch.
Yeah, like he say, if big right, but then you lower visibility so don't make so much. But you high visibility but then your attributes not so good also don't make so much. So really need a framework to actually take a look and do some research
Correct. Yeah. Also, in terms of big land size, small land size, right, one of the key attributes like bigger land size always has a bigger advantage.
Yes.
Because they have more facilities, more amenities. Whereas you can see for 3, right, they only have one swimming pool. So this also when we come to resale, buyers will also compare
Definitely.
because when they walk.
The feel
for example, if I go to Sim Urban Oasis, right, I can walk around. But for 3, right, I come down to the deck, swimming pool only.
Correct, because Sim Urban you see there's actually 2 very pool and then there's also a tennis court, 2 big pool tennis court. But you see 3 the swimming pool only Yeah, then you see all the circle, these are all the amenities Definitely in terms of amenities, in terms of the feel I would say Sims Urban will definitely be better than 3
Yeah, because resale is always more emotional
Correct. Okay, so of course we also want to go into another topic that we talk about new launch prices Okay, so new launch prices usually when compared to resale will definitely be more will be higher. Right, that's logical most people will know that. Okay. For us, we based on our research, right, the new than resale. Yeah. So how? Give you an example. If we look at Clavon and Clement Canopy, okay, at that time when Clavon launched in 2020, right, was about 1,006 PSF. Okay. During the same time period of 2020, Clement Canopy, their average transaction was going at 1,004, which is a resale. So you can see 1,004 to 1,006 is a 200 PSF gap, which also translates to a 10% gap
I think quite logical
Usually
new car, second-hand car.
Common new.
Correct. So for the analysis, right, we will just use Sterling residence as an example We will go into the comparable of the layout. You can see the pricing from there 6214, right? You can see, right, the median pricing is about 1.34 million for Sterling, right?
Yeah.
So how does gonna translate in terms of pricing if we harmonize the layout? So for 624, right, if we minus 7%, right, it's about 580 square feet. So using the average price, we divide by the square feet, right? So basically this layout, right, is about 2,470 per square foot. So that means people are accepting this per square foot at this area.
So why we are using 1,004? If you look at just now the previous slide, right? Because these prices is all been transacted. Yeah, this is why we are doing this analysis on.
Of course, the highest you can see is over 1.5, but we want to make it fair.
So we use average. So that's why we just take this one is what people has already done. Has been in the area, right? If we we harmonize it, it becomes a 2004 PSF.
About 2005 So from there, right, if we use the value for new one, will be 10% more, right? So technically it will be 2720 per square feet for the 2-bed 1-bath
Yeah, based on the logic that we shared just now.
Right. So can we use this information to decide what during that what's the safe price? What's the price that we should think about? So next page we can use Today we just label it the safe zone and the thinking zone. What's the thinking zone? Meaning if we reach at the point that quantum maybe we need to see the next jump already.
Yeah.
Can we buy something similar at the same price? Because the next jump will be bigger
Yes.
But sometimes it's a bigger than lower floor.
Lower floor. Yeah.
But maybe we can consider.
Yes.
Because bigger is always better in a way. Because if we go too high, the PSF will be not so comfortable when it comes to resale because when you see the PSF, when people buy, buyer will, wow.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, developer also will do what we call the spread, right? They will definitely, maybe, I don't know, depending, they will load some of the premium on the higher floors, because logical, higher floors cannot be cheaper than a lower floor. Yeah, so this is something we must also keep in mind.
Yeah, so for the 614, right, very simple, we just use just now the square feet we get, per square foot we get, right, we just times out about 1.518. Anything below, just is
consider
small.
Yeah, same zone
This is buying at a normal premium, new launch premium. But I think right now, the harmonization in place, right, people are looking to lower than the resale prices.
Yeah.
Because of how taking out the ledge, the non-usable space, right, actually lower down the quantum.
Correct,
that's why you see the per square foot inside the jump, but the quantum lower.
Yes.
So this is why we need to learn how to deharmonize or harmonize the product.
We definitely need to compare harmonized and not harmonized, right? When we compare, we cannot just compare that. We must either they are both non-harmonized or they are both harmonized.
Yeah. Next, we will use the 2-bed. So I think for the layout, quite decent. So you can see almost similar, not much different. So today, if you can buy something new below what has been done, I think it's definitely very safe.
Yes.
So same thing, we will use the 1.714 as the average. So you see, so 27 and 29. So when I do this, I also a bit shocked. The jump, you can see for 2-bed 1 bath, right? The square foot 2,007. The taking zone per square foot is 2,007.
Yeah.
Now the safe zone for 2-bed 2 bath is 2,007.
Yeah.
Then the adding 10% is almost 3,000. When I do this, I was a bit surprised. So technically, actually now we know like Queenstown, the demand is at the 2-bed 2 bath.
Yeah. So from this, because the example you got average. I mean, this is what think about If let's say there's your price about 1.7, 1.8, right? Okay, you can either choose to come into Queenstown, which is a better location, but only a 2-bed 2 bath, or you can buy maybe a 3-bedder at OCR at the outside, maybe a not so central location. But people are buying in. Why? Because of the location, which is Queenstown.
Yes. Yeah. So you can definitely see there's a spike in terms of per square from the 2-bed 1 bath and the 2-bed 2 bath. So people who are buying the 2-bed 2 bath, I think they have to be more sensitive to the price.
Yes.
Because price in already, I tell you, it's price in already.
Correct.
Because going in at 3,000, I also don't know. I don't think they will start from 3,000. I mean, they will not start from 3,000.
I don't think so.
So basically, if you get anything below 2,700, it also can go
safe
because people will buy already accepted at 2,700 range. So you see, based on though after that when we come up with the calculation, right, it's about 1.8 and about 1.9 on the thinking side.
Close to 2.
Why we should look at the next jump because you see from the 3-bedroom, Penrith don't have 2+ study. So for the 3-bedroom, the size is almost similar to the Sterling 2+ study. So technically they are almost comparable.
Yes.
So today, if you are looking for 2+ study,
we look at this layout.
Correct. So you see so this price at comparable is about 1.89. So you see after all the harmonize everything, right, the per square foot, you see there's a drop. That's why I was shocked when I doing a 2-bed 2 bath. The drop was significant.
Right.
Then after that, the plus 10%, right, is about 2,008. So when you see, once we go to the entry, can you see? It's almost 2 million. So 2 million is where? 2 million was at here. So now you get what I say, right? If today, when at point,
close to 3,000.
Choosing 3,000, maybe you must go and see the 3-bedroom compare because the price might be almost similar depending on how the developer price it. So technically, so this is how you need to compare because it's not about once you decide on the 2-bed, really go and follow until you buy the cheapest. At that point of time, you must see the next jump, maybe the bigger one, the cheapest is how much.
Correct.
That's where you want to make a decision.
Yeah, because right now we are doing analysis because we don't have the price.
So that's why we use sterling as the price. So you see, once you go to the thinking, right, the 2.2, right, you see here next jump, actually very similar. Once you see here, if I follow, once you see the 2.2,
see the next unit.
You see. Because we use when we price to do, right, you can see the 3-bedroom around the sterling area is about 2,500 per square foot. But if the 2-bed 2 bath is 2,700.
It's more of normally that one.
So that's why when you come into the launch, I think you can make better decision once you have the pricing. So you see 2.2 to 2.4. So 2.4 Next jump, right, be here already. Just nice when I do this exercise, it's just nice that when my thinking, I can go to the safe zone for the next jump already.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at the, once you feel that the price is too high, try to learn to next jump.
Correct.
Because maybe you can spot opportunity over there. Because at the space jump, it's 2.4, right? Maybe at that point of time, it's not 2.4, maybe it's 2.3, 2.2.
Yeah, actually, that shed, right, also part of 5-step process. The next type, you know what's the price jump for next unit type. So this is something that is very, very important.
Yeah. I don't want to like go through like everything
one by one.
One by one. Just main thing, you get the idea. You can just pause the video to see the thing. Because actually we take the average transacted. From there we minus 7%. We get square feet for sterling. Then from there we use the average to get the per square foot. Then if you are buying about 2.8, right, it's actually normal.
New launch
premium lah. Anything below is advantage. Anything below here is just go.
It's safe lah.
It's safe. Just because you buy below it. Yeah. Then from there, right, you times, right, the new layer with this per square foot, right, see the safe zone. Anything you below is something that I think is advantage to.
Because definitely this is very important day, right? When in all that, you see all the prices, you're a bit confused. So this is something that can actually help us. Like we just look at the price, say, 271066. Oh, safe. We can go already. No need to think so much.
So one thing I think just key note, right, that is like too far today is if Penrith when another, right, this layout is about 2006, 2007. Then how? 2.8 and above you must think properly. But anything below, right, I think you can still make some choices to consider in a way.
Yeah.
Because 2566 based on what we know because if developer is gonna launch below 2005, 2006, right, definitely will
very good deal.
Very good deal. But I cannot say that it will happen because right now we don't know the price. Because what happened to Sky? We are expecting 27, 28, 29. Then they starting from 25. Yeah. So because why developer can do this? When they bought the land, right, it's cheaper. They can afford to sell cheaper.
Yeah. They got more margin to play with.
Yeah, correct. So now we have, I think we have the pricing. I think you can just pause the video to take a look because I don't want to go through one by one because it'll be very draggy. We will now come to which one we will prefer in layout. So learn for 786 versus 850, which one technically will you be more preferred?
Okay, for me I will more towards the 786 square feet, even though it's smaller. Why? Because for 786 to a lot of people they see it's actually really, they feel it's quite small for a 3-bedder. So it's 786. If I look at the layout, actually everything will have. There's windows in the kitchen, there's window in the bathroom, all the bedrooms all the windows is also the same view. Okay, but of course the only key thing that I look at is that the living and dining may be a bit on the smaller side as compared to the 850. Yeah, so this is something that you might want to consider but for me, why this one is so attractive, if you look at the master bedroom, actually the master bedroom is quite decent for a 786 square feet, but you compromise a bit on the living and dining Yeah, so that's why I prefer 786. But if let's say because the width also, if you look at the width for 786 and 850, actually it's the same in terms of width, but the 850 is a bit longer.
So it's just a longer living and dining. I also think is this walkway for you Me, and also key thing is the kitchen smaller because kitchen one less part to build a cabinet space.
Yeah.
But I think the most important is when we see layout, right, 786 this type of size, right, usually it's compact. Maybe it's an open concept kitchen, or maybe the bedrooms one of the bedrooms another side. But this one is all at one side. It's a very typical condo layout that I think everyone is very comfortable. Then for me, this is really the gem. I think the developer actually built it in a very smart way.
Yeah, because by right, maybe in some developments, around this range, by right is maybe a 2+ study. But due to harmonization, and the way they plan it, we can do a 3 at 786 square feet, which means your quantum is actually not so scary.
And some 786 you don't have window, open concept, enclosable kitchen. Wow, this one have
everything.
This is like a value buy.
Hidden gem. Really.
In terms of the hidden gem, of course, value buy, right? You must see pricing, So if the pricing go too high, right, see the next jump, 850. See is there
because anyway,
can we buy same price at the point of space, because this one will help you determine your exit later. For the 936 and the 1066, right? For me, if you see the layout, right, the 936, right, actually the living hall is to the 850. Correct?
Yeah, actually quite.
Do you need a WC and a storeroom
Or helper's room.
or somewhere will prefer to make it
whatever.
a helper's room. Because if you don't need, right, just go 786. 936 is for the, in terms of budget, cannot the 1066. Because for me, 1066, the layout, I went. For me, my opinion. Why? I think the developer plan this, it's just that I feel the 8 square meter, these two, is small.
Yeah.
Right, it's small because usually it's common is about 8.5 to 9 nowadays. But where the space they put is the living hall. Quite comfortable when I go. Very big. Then the next thing they make it here, put the space into your master. The master this is like a, some side tables very small one. It really can dressing one.
Yeah.
Dressing table, study table, all this it's really can put. If you haven't gone to the SHOWFLAT,
please go and take a look at this layout.
Find us. We'll go see. Because really I'm very impressed with this layout because it's like everyone we go, everyone there, our colleagues are we are wow by this master. This is a 3-bedroom premium. Only not like, our size is like 4 bedroom. Yeah. Then give you walk-in wardrobe.
Yeah.
Usually walk-in wardrobe is here that's why I say the small side table correct or not?
Yeah.
So this one is something that I feel if you go for premium, right, this you will go for.
It's impressive lah.
Yeah. It's something I think timeless.
Yeah.
For me okay. But of course, if you really have budget constraint, but you need the store, right? This is the alternative. You are buying like a compact type of a layout, but just because
They add on this thing for you.
okay, yeah. If you don't need, just 786.
So we're going to go into the 4-bedroom analysis, right? So for 4-bedroom analysis, we're not going to go too in-depth on the numbers okay? Because most people maybe buy for own stay, they want more of the feel.
And definitely the layout of Penrith 4-bedroom, I can't find any fault to it
Yeah, quite functional and everything. Yeah, but of course there's certain comparison that we want to make in terms of what we call the white frontage.
Correct.
Yeah, so maybe I'll share with you some examples.
Like for example, you take a Lentor Central Residence, right? The 4-bedroom, right? You can see, right? The smaller one, right, is about 1184, and the bigger one is about 1004 square feet. So today, if we want to go for a wide frontage in today's market, usually the square feet difference is about 200 square feet. The per square feet we times 200 feet, it easily costs about $500,000. You see, people usually pay more, about 400, because you see the in terms of quarter is about $1,000,000. So why are we trying to share with you this? Is because we found something that is exciting. Because for Penrith, right, the difference for the wide frontage and the narrow frontage, right, of the living hall, right, is actually only 100 square feet. So what does it mean for buyers today?
Yeah, so it means today if you the jump that you need to pay actually is lesser compared to other developments. This is an opportunity you let have so-called the capacity to go for bigger. You just need to pay for this 108 square feet more and the right frontage.
And it's like maybe 50%.
It's like how like that, to for right frontage.
Yeah.
Which frontage is definitely quite attractive for a 4-bedroom.
I mean, if you really have the budget, right, and you are deciding which one should we choose, right, go for the right frontage. Because for Penrith, I think this is something like another value buy in a way. Because it's only 100 square feet difference to upgrade to a wide frontage.
Of course, but for 4-bedroom, right, we definitely also sometimes maybe need to look a bit of the numbers. Why I say that? Is it always the case? Always like that? Okay. So if we look at Lentor Hill Residences, the 4-bedroom, okay, one is 1356, one is 1399. Okay, based on these two floor plan, I would say, of course, if you look here is the right frontage, 139 right frontage, 356 is the so-called the normal one. Okay, the difference is only 43 square feet. So based on this, when I look, in my mind, the first thing I think of is that 1399 is better and it will also logically be more expensive.
Because it's a more popular one. Definitely
Correct.
will be more higher.
Correct. Okay, so for example, if we look at the 1356, right, the median price is about 2.88. Then if we look at the 1399, it's actually 2.77. So just now we saw the 1399 is a wide frontage, right? But it's cheaper than the other one that has a smaller frontage. So at the end of the day, right, whether you're buying 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or 4-bedroom, I would say we still need to look at the pricing. Yeah, and especially in the new launch context, right, we have a 5-step process where we are able to spot such deals. Because to me, this 1399 is definitely a deal. Able to pay a wide frontage, right, but cheaper than people with a smaller frontage.
At the end of the day, we also need to know on that day itself how the developer going to price. Because sometimes developer will price a certain strategy one.
Yes.
For example, they will load in the certain stack, then make another stack look very attractive. Then if you don't want, you might buy the stack loaded, then it's really paying more from what people are paying.
Yeah.
I think this is something that you have to know correct at that time when you make a decision. We are to the end of the analysis. Today, if you are looking at Penrith, you want to have a deeper analysis, work on the affordability, what can we look at in market, right? Feel free to contact us. And once again, I'm Matthew.
I'm Dylan.
I see you soon.